You know that map on your phone? The one you probably use every single day? Ever stop and wonder how it actually works? It's not just a digital piece of paper. Nope. It's this incredibly intelligent, dynamic tool, and its story is fascinating. So let's unpack how we got from simple paper street guides to the powerful smart maps that literally shape our world today. Over 1 trillion. Just let that number sink in for a second. That's how many views the Johns Hopkins COVID-19 dashboard got during the pandemic. And what was it? It wasn't just a spreadsheet or a chart. It was a map that became the single most important resource for understanding a global crisis as it unfolded. So how in the world does that happen? How does a simple map become such a critical, life-saving tool? Well, the answer is a technology called a geographic information system, or GIS for short. And its story, believe it or not, starts way, way before the first computer was even a glimmer in someone's eye. To really get what modern GIS is, we have to go back in time. Back to when the core idea first clicked. This idea of using location to see the world in a completely new light. Okay, picture this. It's 1854 in London. A doctor named John Snow is trying to figure out a deadly cholera outbreak. Now, instead of just making a list of who got sick, he did something genius. He put a dot on a map for every single case. And this simple act, what we now call spatial analysis, revealed a terrifying pattern. The deaths weren't random. They were all clustered around one specific public water pump. He'd found the source. Now, let's fast forward about 100 years. In 1969, a landscape architect, Ian McHarg, comes up with this revolutionary concept in his book Design with Nature. He called it the layer cake method. I love this. Imagine taking transparent sheets and stacking them. One has rivers, another has roads, another has forests. By laying them on top of each other, you suddenly see how everything is connected. This simple idea? It's the blueprint for all modern GIS. And this layer cake idea is exactly what Dr. Snow did, just instinctively. You start with your base map, the streets of London, then you add a layer showing where all the water pumps are, and then you add that final, crucial layer, all the cholera cases. Bam! The relationship is suddenly crystal clear. This idea, layering information to find hidden connections, is the absolute heart and soul of GIS. So the idea was brilliant, but doing it by hand with transparent paper just wasn't gonna scale, right? It needed a boost. And that boost came from the computer revolution of the 1960s. This was the spark that was about to turn that layer cake concept into a world-changing industry. And once the idea met the technology, things started moving fast. The term GIS gets officially coined in 1963. A couple of years later, you have these hubs of innovation popping up at places like Harvard. And then, in 1969, a new startup called Esri is founded. By 1982, they release Arc/Info, which was the first real commercial GIS software. This took the whole idea out of the university lab and put it into the hands of businesses. What's really cool is that from the very beginning, GIS wasn't just about making cool maps. It was about solving problems. The founding mission of Esri, the company that would become the leader in the field, was all about helping people make smarter decisions that balance development with protecting the environment. This problem-solving DNA was baked in from day one. So for decades, GIS was this really powerful tool, but it was mostly used by specialists, city planners, scientists, governments. But then, a perfect storm of other technologies came along and basically blasted GIS out of the lab and into everybody's hands. And this is where things just explode. You have this incredible collision of technologies. GPS satellites go up, giving us our precise location. The US Census Bureau digitizes all the nation's streets. The web becomes interactive, which lets services like Google Maps launch in 2005. And then the real game changer, 2007, the first iPhone. Suddenly, everyone has the GPS-enabled supercomputer in their pocket. The stage was set. I mean, just think about it. The change was so dramatic and personal. We went from wrestling with these giant, hard-to-fold paper maps to having a calm voice tell us to turn left while it automatically reroutes us around a traffic jam. It was a massive shift in just everyday life, and it was all powered by GIS humming away silently in the background. And get this, while this consumer revolution was just starting, the professional side of things was already a massive business. By 2001, that's 5 years before the first iPhone even existed, Esri had already sold 1 million software licenses. The foundation was huge, way before most of us even knew what GIS was. Okay, so that brings us to today. GIS isn't a niche technology anymore. It's pretty much invisible, but it's an essential part of the fabric of our modern lives. And it's still changing. Have you called a rideshare today, tracked a food delivery, searched for the closest coffee shop? If you did, you used a powerful GIS. It's the engine running under the hood of countless apps on your phone. The crazy part is, most of us are expert GIS users now, and we don't even know it. So what's next? Well, you take GIS and you fuse it with artificial intelligence. They call this combo GeoAI, and it is incredibly powerful. Imagine an AI that can scan satellite images and instantly find every single solar panel in an entire country, or track illegal deforestation in the Amazon almost in real time. It's about finding patterns in huge amounts of geographic data automatically. This whole journey, from Dr. Snow's simple hand-drawn map to AI-powered global analysis, it's a story of human curiosity. It's about people asking that simple question: what if we could see the where in a new way? The tech is just the tool. It's the innovators using it that decide where it all goes next. So we've come full circle right back to that layer cake. But today, the layers aren't just roads and rivers on a transparent sheet. They're real-time traffic data, social media feeds, live weather sensors, public health statistics. Our entire world has become this living, breathing, digital layer cake of information. So the question isn't really what GIS can do anymore. The question is, what are we going to build with it next?